Hello, welcome back. It is still in the game here on New Central TV. We're taking the view from both the African continent and from Argentina, the home country of one of the greatest men to play the beautiful game, Diego Armando Maradona. He passed on at the age of 60 yesterday. I've got Argentine journalist Joaquin Chomicki and Nigerian journalist Temisan Okomi joining us on In the Game today. Great to have both guys here. We'll be talking to Temisan about just how the feeling is on the African continent about the passing on of this great man. But we'll start with Joaquin. Good morning, Joaquin.
Hello. Good morning. Thank you for the video call, really.
All right, let's start with what is the feeling right now in Argentina following the passing on of Maradona?
Sad, very sad. The guy who made us happiest left this world sad, in depression. We can't forgive ourselves for that. The people cry in the streets. The pain is felt in the street. The country is in a mourning for 3 days, official, but always will cry Diego Maradona.
All right, Temisan Okomi, let me bring Temisan in now. And Temisan, you obviously heard what Joaquin has had to say. The 3 days of mourning. We'll get to Temisan very shortly. But Joaquin, what do you remember? What do Argentines fondly remember Maradona for? On the African continent, everybody remembers how he played for Argentina against Cameroon at Italian 90. In Nigeria, we remember when he masterminded the Argentine team to beat Nigeria at USA 94. But for the average Argentine, what is that one striking moment that every Argentine likes to remember about Maradona?
Well, I'm 24 years old. I couldn't see him play, but everything in Argentina know who was Diego Maradona and who did Diego Maradona. Think about the goals to England 4 years after the Malvinas War in Argentina. Do you know Malvinas War? Was something that marked the country forever. And not only was it the best goal in the history of the World Cups. I don't know how to explain it. The man is suffer to the people who kill our child, our kids. Can you understand me?
Yeah, I can.
4 years later, that a worse war that Argentina had, and he said, I do it. He know what he do it. So then he won the World Cup. But this moment is so special because one was the best goal in the World Cup history, but another with the hand. Okay, man.
Thank you, Joaquin. I'll bring you up very shortly, but let's take Temisan next. And we've got Temisan now. Great to have you, Temisan. What do you fondly remember? We've been talking to Joaquin, and he's talked about the fact that lifting the World Cup for Argentina in '86 is what reverberates most with the Argentine public. From an African perspective, how do Africans remember Maradona?
First of all, I think many Africans from that era as well probably remember 1986. The older ones who followed football, because if you remember, in the late 70s, early 80s, South American football was very big in Nigeria because, in fact, it was so big, Santos, a Brazilian club, came here for a tour as well. And it was huge. So some people might remember Maradona from the 82 World Cup? That was when he made his debut for Argentina. But he was a young lad. So some might remember, like I said. I don't remember him from that time. But everybody of a certain age remembers 1986 because the man was a genius. He was a genius. And don't forget that in '86, even though we're not seeing European football, just 2 years before, he had gone to Napoli, right? So he was already a star. He had broken the record for the highest transfer fee, over $7 million for Napoli. He had dragged Napoli from underdog status to league beaters. So, everybody remembers 86. Everybody remembers 90 as well, because it was a terrible Argentine squad Maradona led, and he still dragged them all the way to the final. Then for us here, we all remember 1994. The man was no longer who he used to be, but my goodness, did they not discipline us in that 94 World Cup? We always remember Maradona, absolutely. We always remember him.
All right, Joaquin, let me bring you in next. And I think this is where we probably might deviate with some of our opinion. But in terms of there's a lot of controversy around whether or not we will see anyone with the grace, maybe the skill of Diego Maradona. What sets him, do you think, Joaquin, aside from modern day players who almost play in the same way that Maradona plays?
Can you repeat me?
So what makes you, what do you think differentiates Maradona from a modern day football star?
Maradona wasn't a modern footballer, but nobody can be like Maradona. Maradona was a magic footballer that's no physical. It's other thing. It's impossible. Can be similar players until better career, but who like Maradona, never. I think never.
Temisan, do you think at some point, Temisan, that if Maradona had played now, he probably would have been a bigger footballer?
It's hard to compare eras.
Because you look, bad pitches, not so bad pitches, the referees weren't particularly protecting players, and he still managed to do a lot.
Heavier balls, bad pitches. Even their jerseys were heavier. Everything was set up against them. Defenders were absolutely brutal. And yet, people like Maradona and Pelé were the absolute beast of world football. Yes, I think in today's football, Maradona would have probably been what we'll talk about Messi. That would have been a pipe dream. Maradona would have been the biggest thing ever if he had played today. Maradona was a legend. He was a legend.
All right. So before we go, let's take personal opinions, and let's take your moment when you remember Maradona the most. Joaquin, let me start with you. What do you most fondly remember about Maradona?
Last year, when he arrived to Gimnasia de la Plata in my city, in the capital of Buenos Aires, the people cried for Maradona. Maradona kissed us in the stadium of Gimnasia in La Plata, and then he can fire him in every stadium that he went, in every stadium of Argentina, like a trainer of Gimnasia. But this was wonderful for you fire. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joaquin. And for you, Temisan, most fond memory personally of Maradona?
For me, it's a bit different. I think my fondest memory of Maradona was probably the first time I saw him do his pre-match training. I think it was, I'm trying to remember if it was 1990 or 1986. Now, he had this pre-match training ritual of he would prance like a horse. He was very short, he was very confident. He would prance around like a horse. He would kick the ball very high. Then it would, and people would be looking at him, and he would just trap, he would kill the ball dead without looking at the ball. So that used to be what I used to look forward to whenever I saw a Maradona. So because of that, when the internet came and became very big, I remember going to search every video. I saw the one with Napoli as well, when Napoli introduced him to the club, to the city, and he had a massive training session where everybody was there. And it was the same thing. It was just his ball control. I grew up watching Brazilian football. So I grew up with footballers who were skillful. And they enjoyed being skillful. I tell people like Messi is a bit too mechanical. He's extremely skillful, but it's mechanical. There's no joy when I watch Messi. It's the best. But with Maradona and that era of players, you enjoyed watching them. Okay. So my best memory of Maradona, and may he forever rest in peace, was always his pre-game ritual.
All right. Thank you very, very much, guys. Joaquin, Argentine journalist from Gimnasia, and of course, Temisan Okomi, Nigerian journalist, also joined us. Thank you very much, guys, for coming through. Let's quickly move on in the game. Next, Nnamdi Kuba is still here. And let's look at some stats around Diego Maradona, in case you didn't know. I will give you those right now. Nnamdi, very quickly, club career, he played at some really huge clubs, and look at those honors.
Yeah, well, Boca Juniors, Barcelona, Napoli has to be the biggest, and the rest of them. Sevilla also was in that. Newell Old Boys, Boca Juniors, the fact that he went around and still came back home, his name as a coach, as a player, massive player, really massive. But for the national team as well, he still had a great time in the national. We'll talk about.
And wasn't a bad-looking guy, to be honest.
Yeah, very handsome. even at this point, look at the national.
91 caps for Argentina, scored 34 goals, played in 4 World Cups. Yep. 1982, 86, 1990, 94. I saw him play 1990 and 94. I understood.
You said okay. All right.
Captain Argentina to victory in 1986, and I think Joaquin said that probably for Argentines was the moment when Maradona became probably the greatest Argentine player and greatest player in the world. And he scored the famous hand of God goal against England in the quarterfinals. People forget that after that hand of God goal, Nnamdi, he did score probably the greatest goal in World Cup history.
Yeah, where he ran from post to post. You get to look at that, and I don't know. Do we appreciate our footballers when they are alive? I think the good thing about Diego Armando Maradona is that we appreciate him. We appreciated him, and we still do. I choose to be happy for his life and things he did for.
All right, then reaction from everyone around the world. Look, that's Yaya Toure saying such sad news. Rest in peace to Diego Maradona. The Sunday Olise, that's a fantastic picture. He played with Maradona, Nigeria's first outing at the FIFA World Cup. Like Temisan said, probably this wasn't prime Maradona, but he was still good enough. And this is Samuel Eto'o saying, what year, good rest, boss. And you can see Diego Maradona there. And then this is Michael Essien, the Ghanaian international, says, rest well, Diego Maradona, adios. And then, most important of them all, this man who is regarded alongside Maradona as the greatest footballer ever, says, what sad news, I lost a great friend and the world lost a legend. There's still much to be said, but for now, may God give strength to family members. One day, I hope we can play football together in the sky. That's just it.
That's as touching as it gets to. The same way we talk about Ronaldo and Messi, it was Pelé and Maradona back then, but so much love between themselves as they aged. Like I said, I would always celebrate the life of Maradona. I'm sad, but I'll always celebrate his life.
We finish with a tribute to one of the greatest men to ever grace a football pitch, Diego Armando Maradona.